Welcome, Scorpio, to your new moon reading. This reading will be pertinent to the time between today, February 11th. As a matter of fact, in my time zone, the new moon just became complete, so we are well and fully in the new moon energies and will be until March 13th, when I'll do another set of readings. This new moon falls into your third house of the mind, thinking, communication, siblings, social activity, interests, hobbies, neighbors, early education. It's kind of a community house where this new beginning may be falling for you. Right now I'm choosing a medicine card for you. These are animal cards that I've been using since 1995, I think I've determined today. These are my favorite. They're beautiful. And they evoke animal energies, very specific sort of shuffle that I have for them here. And I'll just choose the top card off of that shuffle. I'm a little clumsy, but it's okay. I think Scorpios understand that sometimes not everything is beautifully executed. It's still good. Oh, yeah, really good. Eagle is spirit. Eagle is your higher presence, the animating life force within you. It's being able to see where you are right now from a higher perspective, from a perspective that's more informed, less attached, and more objective. We can never really fully get to objectivity, but being a spirit soul helps us sometimes to be able to pull back and see our current circumstance with a little less passion. On the back side of this, we have, this is very interesting, mouse, which is scrutiny. I will touch everything with my whiskers in order to know it intimately. Very interesting dichotomy here for several reasons. First of all, mouse is food for eagle, right? So scrutiny is fuel for being able to see objectively. Knowing things intimately gives us the ability to also step away. Without one, you can't have the other, right? If you don't know it well and you look at it from a height, you're not really going to understand it, whatever it is. So I think this is the formula for understanding here. I think honoring spirit and knowing intimately. Beautiful. Anyway, let's move on to your Celtic card spread. This is a Celtic cross. It's an old traditional tarot reading. I love to do with these little mini cards. Right now I'm looking for a signifier for you. I have a very specific way of getting that if it doesn't happen in the amount of time that we need it to. It did. Interesting. You are signified in your reading today as the Queen of Cups. And this is the Queen of Compassion. She has learned her lessons surrounding calmness, emotional comfort. These are all beautiful attainments for the Scorpio who goes deep into the drama of life, the deep, rich, sometimes tragic storytelling that goes on, to arrive with a compassionate heart, with an open heart at this moment is a real trick. So congratulations for that being you. You are covered by a message. Quick action, fast movement is the hallmark of the Eight of Wands. And the Eight of Wands is movement, because you'll be making a quick decision. The decision made from the heart rapid movement made from a heart-centered place is what I like to call effective appropriate action, effortless appropriate action. You are covered by an effortless appropriate action coming from your compassionate heart. Beautiful. What crosses you is nostalgia. What crosses you is a happy memory. The quick action that you need to take is somehow in conflict with something from the past, from a return home, a lack of healing. So this could be a bit of a wounding. The ability to move from your heart is hampered by a wounding. It's an interesting read. What crowns you in this is a new creative beginning. Pentacles symbolize security, material wealth, and nature. And the Ace of Pentacles represents opportunity in any of those areas. Prosperity, like a new venture, maybe? New business, something nature-based, something connected to the heart, something that requires you to move quickly despite not being fully healed. The foundation, gorgeous, is the Ace of Cups. So that compassionate calmness, the emotional creativity and intuition that is the hallmark of Cups is represented here in new feelings. Your foundation for this reading is a new spirituality, a new intuition, and a new connection. It's more than just the new moon that's causing all of these changes to come. And the cards are certainly saying that for all the signs so far. There's a movement away from something and towards something else. And in your place, it looks to be a movement away from a wound and into an intuitive, creative, spiritual, nature-based new beginning. You are moving away from an adventure, moving away from excitement. The energy of the Page of Wands is a very youthful, it's a young energy. It's very excited. It's about freedom and courage and faith. And perhaps you had the freedom and courage, the faith to face an old wound, and you're moving toward, heartbreak. That's leveling. I mean, it's definitely not a direction that you're choosing, that you're headed toward. It's a grief, a sadness, a cruelty that needs to be addressed. This wound isn't letting go easily. It needs to be seen from a lot of different angles in order to be moved away from. There is a sense of pushing from the past, right? And that will always happen. We'll always be pushed from the past until we are pulled from the future, until we are pulled from a vision. So what I'm reading in this card is that there is a need to let go of the wounding of the past in order to find the excitement that impels you forward by pulling you forward. In this moment, you are represented by indecision. Okay, this makes sense, right? If you feel like you're heading toward more of the same, it's going to be hard to make the decision to go. But you've got new beginnings in your foundation and crowning you. So I have every reason to believe that you will be able to move toward this part. And because you're a Scorpio, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say you probably know that you don't get something new without breaking the old, right? It doesn't mean that the past was wrong. It just means for who you are right now, this compassionate person, it's wrong to stay there. It's wrong for you, right? So you have to make a decision around it. You have to find a way to move yourself forward. And all around you is strength. All around you is the first major arcana in this reading, possibility that you can do it, whether it's in your community, in your family, because this new moon falls into your 4th house, or it's within you. And that's what I generally believe about Scorpios. You have the inner strength to do this. She's not doing that with physical strength. She's not holding that lion's mouth because she's physically strong enough to do it. She has the spiritual power to do it. She's connected to eternity. And because she's connected to eternity, she doesn't fear heartbreak. She doesn't fear that animal. She doesn't fear the danger that she knows she's heading into. And I mean, let's face it. Don't we all know we're heading into some danger in life? Life is dangerous. It's not safe in any way to live on the surface of a planet in a meat suit. So, I mean, we got to face this at some point, and that's that stellium in Capricorn, and it's in sidereal Capricorn. It's forcing all of us. We must mature at this point. We have played adolescent for too long, and it's time to move forward in a new, mature way. You hope and fear. This is a common fear for Scorpios, and I don't mean to belittle it. You hope and fear being alone. Like maybe you want that secretly. You realize that there's a lot of wounding that comes from relationships, but that's also why we get so much growth from them, is because we shed our skin through being wounded. We come into a new way of being through the wound, and the wound is the only way forward on planet Earth, right? We're doing higher work here. We're doing spiritual work, and it's deep, careful work that we're doing, but it requires being bigger than the landscape that we're in. It requires not being, well, you can be afraid, but you have to have the courage to actually do the things that you came here to do. Let's face it, nobody would do life if they knew what they were going to have to face, right? We do it to gain the rewards of our problems. And it looks like you have something coming from an old hurt that you'll face again. And this time, you'll face it from a new perspective. Looks that way. There's generosity there for you. There will be help in the future, maybe help that you don't expect, because generosity isn't something that we count on. It's something that happens through serendipity. There's charity, there's sharing, and the joy of giving may be the risk that you fear here. Maybe giving of yourself from the remembered hurt feels like it's going to happen again. You know, I'm going to get wounded again. I'm going to get hurt again. We all feel that way when we try to open our hearts anew. Spirit watches over you. Nature loves courage. Nature loves courage. There's insight to be gained from the woundings. You know, walk fearlessly into... That just reminds me of Jesus. I'm not hugely religious for anything. I try on religions to see what they have to offer. But, you know, he went like a bridegroom to the bride to that crucifixion. And that sort of sacrifice is something that Scorpio is kind of all about. Most of the Scorpios I know don't mind humiliation, having difficulty, accepting charity, if it means that others will benefit, and if it means that your soul will benefit. I mean, because it really is about your soul. Don't be afraid, Scorpio. You know your craft. The card that holds energy for this whole situation is a card of mastery, material mastery. You know you're not a body. You know you're not something that can really be damaged here. Your spirit soul is pure and unaffected by the dramas that we go through to learn on planet Earth. Beautiful message. What a gorgeous, hopeful, courageous way to face an uncertain future is essayed here. I think this is it's very strongly indicative of Scorpio spirit, like what I think of Scorpio. They, don't get me wrong, some of the most complex relationships in my life are with Scorpio people. They're not simple people. They're not by any means, just on the surface. There's a lot going on there. But that's where the good stuff is. That's where, in the details, is where we discover gold. All right. The Tarot of the Golden Thread. 3 integrations for the goddess. Harmony, disharmony, repair, harmony, disharmony, repair for Scorpio. The King of Pentacles, the mastery of physical reality. And it looks to me like that's what you're about to achieve here. Abundance, prosperity, but wealth for the good of others, because it couldn't be another way for Scorpios. Like you wouldn't just acquire all that kind of stuff for yourself. You're the highest iteration of water, yet attained on planet Earth. We're moving toward Pisces, but we're not there yet. So it's like you would acquire for the sake of others, and it may break your heart to do it. It may be a break with the past in order for you to acquire and be able to help others. It's a beautiful, noble goal. And again, there's a message coming. There's an action coming for you. You'll know what it is when it happens. You'll know what it is when it comes toward you. This is always a positive card in my world. The 8 of Wands is just this, rapid, quick decision regarding creation, will, energy. This is the energy card, right? It's in the suit of energy, and it's a card of energy. So move through this in your Scorpio fashion. Know that even though it may not look like it, it may look like you're going to be alone, there's wisdom in your solitude, and you'll find the generosity of others will help you move forward into a wonderful material place. Your spiritual place is already assured. You are a spirit soul in a body. Be reminded of the beauty of that. Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed this, if you would like me to do individualized I Ching readings for this lunar cycle as well. I'd be happy to do them, but I need to know you want them. I'm going to try to figure out a way to get that done here. It's an ancient oracle. I think it would appeal to Scorpios. Thanks again. Thank you for letting me share this. This is illuminating for me as well, reminding me of my Scorpio part, my inner strength, and the grit, the sheer tenacity it has to move forward, even from difficult situations and in difficult situations. Thank you, Scorpio.